Hello and welcome to the news update on Papyrus Global TV. I am Christiana Babayo. Dangote marketer fuel deal collapses as foreign imports flood the Nigerian market. Trump threatens further US strikes in Nigeria over killings of Christians. Rivers Assembly builds case against Fubara with 8 charges of misconduct. Youth Service Corps to sanction institutions breaching mobilization rules. APC rejects claims of individual dominance within the ruling party. Budget Office declares repeal and reenactment of budgets fully constitutional. Royal family member blames security lapses for attacks in Niger State. And now the news in full. A major supply agreement between the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and 20 top petroleum marketers has collapsed, triggering a massive surge in petrol imports across Nigeria. The deal, which was structured for marketers to offtake 600 million litres of petrol monthly, reportedly hit a brick wall over deep-seated pricing disagreements. According to exclusive industry data, the breakdown led to a sharp spike in petrol importation during November 2025, with total imports rising to 1.563 billion litres. Sources within the sector revealed that the agreement, which lasted barely a month, failed because the refinery was reluctant to adjust its prices in line with failing international benchmarks. While importers saw the global landing cost of petrol drop to approximately 829 naira per litre, the refinery initially maintained a gantry price of 828 naira per litre, which marketers argue was not competitive. The collapse of the partnership has reopened the doors for independent and major marketers to source products from the international market, leading to what analysts describe as a full-blown price war. In a bid to regain market dominance and counter the influx of imported vessels, the Dangote Refinery eventually slashed its gantry price from 828 naira to 699 per litre, a 129% reduction and the steepest drop recorded in 2025. US President Donald Trump has issued a stern warning of additional military action against targets in Nigeria, following reports of continued violence and the targeted killings of Christians. This warning comes in the wake of recent US airstrikes, signaling a dramatic and aggressive shift in American foreign policy regarding religious persecution in West Africa. Addressing the situation, the president expressed deep dissatisfaction with the Nigerian government's response to internal security, suggesting that the US is prepared to take unilateral steps to protect vulnerable populations if local authorities fail to do so. The administration's stance emphasizes a zero-tolerance policy towards the systemic slaughter of religious minorities, moving beyond traditional diplomatic pressure towards direct military intervention. The threat has sparked intense debate within the international community. While some advocacy groups have praised the US for taking a decisive step against human rights abuses, others have raised concerns over national sovereignty and the potential for these strikes to further destabilize the region. The political crisis in Rivers State has reached a fever pitch as the State House of Assembly formally detailed 8 specific allegations against Governor Siminalayi Fubara in a fresh impeachment push. These allegations center on claims of gross misconduct and serious violations of the Constitution, further deepening the volatile rift between the executive and the legislature. Central to the charges is the accusation of massive extra budgetary spending, with lawmakers alleging that the governor has continued to fund government projects and operations without a legally approved 2024 or 2025 budget. The Assembly further accused the governor of obstruction of justice by allegedly interfering with the independent functions of both the judiciary and the legislature. This is compounded by claims of financial mismanagement involving unauthorized withdrawals from the state accounts and a blatant disregard for legislative authority through his failure to recognize or communicate with House leadership regarding statutory appointments. Beyond this fiscal and administrative dispute, the remaining allegations include specific breaches of the Public Procurement Act and the controversial illegal demolition of the House of Assembly complex. While the legislature moves forward with these proceedings, Governor Fubara's supporters have swiftly dismissed the charges as politically motivated witch hunts orchestrated by his predecessors and political rivals. The escalation sets the stage for high-stakes legal and political showdown that threatens to redefine the governance of the oil-rich state in the coming weeks. The National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) has issued a stern warning to core-producing institutions (CPIs) across the country, threatening to apply stiff sanctions against any school found violating established mobilization guidelines. The Director General of the NYSC issued the warning during a recent meeting with heads of tertiary institutions, emphasizing that the integrity of the mobilization process is non-negotiable. The scheme expressed concern over a rising trend of illegal mobilizations, where unqualified graduates or individuals with forged credentials are submitted for the mandatory one-year national service. To curb these irregularities, the NYSC has introduced more stringent vetting processes. Institutions found guilty of bypassing these rules face penalties ranging from a complete blacklisting of the school to a significant reduction in their mobilization quota for future batches. The management reiterated that the NYSC remains a vital national institution for unity and development, and its processes must remain transparent and merit-based to maintain public trust. We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, the news will continue. Stay tuned.
The Papyrus Global, we don't just cover events, we create cinematic experiences. From red carpets to birthdays, gala dinners, and your fairy tale weddings, we bring your moments to life with high-tech precision. Our gadgets are smarter, our lenses sharper, and our team simply world-class. Trust the Papyrus Global to tell your story in the boldest, brightest way possible.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue. Murtala Dantoro, a prominent member of the Borgu royal family in Niger State, has condemned what he described as a systemic failure by both federal and state governments following a series of devastating bandit attacks in the region. Speaking in an interview on Arise News, Dantoro attributed the recent massacre at Kasuan Daji Market to a complete absence of security presence in the vulnerable areas. The January 3rd attack saw armed bandits emerge from the idle Kainji Lake National Park to set the market ablaze, killing 30 villagers and abducting dozens more. Dantoro noted that the vast 13,000 square kilometer terrain of Borgu has become a sanctuary for criminals due to the government's failure to monitor and utilize the national park. He specifically referenced the harrowing November 2025 abduction of over 300 students and teachers from St. Mary's Private Catholic School in Papiri, noting that despite such high-profile tragedies, the security architecture in the region remains porous and reactive. Dantoro further explained that the region is suffering from banditry migration, where criminals relocate to areas with the weakest security defenses. The royal family member called for a proactive security overhaul to prevent the total collapse of order in the north-central border communities. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress (APC), Professor Nantawe Yilwada, has asserted that no single individual, regardless of their position, holds ultimate control over the ruling party. Speaking as a guest on the Nigeria at Sunset program on JFM Jos, Yilwada emphasized that the APC operates through a structured national hierarchy rather than the whims of powerful individuals. He clarified that while governors, lawmakers, and local government chairmen are vital stakeholders, the party's planning and decision-making processes are strictly centralized at the national level. Across the country, nobody can take any section of the party, Yilwada said. For anything you are going to do at the state level, it is planned at the national level. It is not planned at the state level. This is APC structure, and that is how we work. The chairman further noted that the party intentionally operates without a board of trustees to avoid unnecessary internal crisis. According to him, the people serve as the trustees of the APC, distinguishing it from other political platforms where specific power blocks might exert total control. Addressing the leadership dynamics within the party, Yilwada reiterated that the APC is governed by its constitutional organs, including the National Convention, the National Executive Committee, and the National Working Committee, ensuring that no individual, including himself, can claim absolute authority. The Budget Office of the Federation (BOF) has defended the legality of repealing and reenacting the 2024 and 2025 Appropriation Acts, describing the process as a valid exercise of legislative authority. In a statement issued Wednesday, the Director General of the Budget Office, Mr. Tanimu Yakubu, dismissed claims that such legislative actions breached the 1999 Constitution. He maintained that Sections 80 to 84 of the Constitution provide a clear framework for public expenditure, which includes the National Assembly's right to authorize spending through appropriation acts. Yakubu explained that the National Assembly possesses the power to repeal and reenact budgets when fiscal circumstances or implementation realities necessitate such changes in public interest. He rejected the notion of a constitutional impossibility, stating that once a bill is passed by the legislature and assented to by the president, it becomes a valid law. Responding to concerns regarding the lifespan of a budget, the BOF clarified that while budgets typically operate within a fiscal year, the Constitution does not strictly prohibit extensions needed to settle certified claims or complete financial obligations. The statement also refuted allegations of spending without appropriation, noting that many observers confuse contractual obligations and statutory transfers with unauthorized spending. And that's all we have on the news update on Papyrus Global TV. I am Christiana Babayo. Thanks for joining us.